This is my first review of the entire year of 2024 from a standpoint of performance of housing market in Grayson County in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, North Texas. This is one of the very few counties that are truly interesting from a standpoint of price performance for 2024 because I only seen one more county in Texas where the 2024 pricing at 340, let's just say, overtook the peak. That was the peak pricing in September, which means that the contracts with these prices were written in August. But nevertheless, for the resale single-family residential homes, the prices in 2024 at the peak in August through September, overtook the pricing that we see for 2022. 2022 peak pricing was 315 to 317, which means that overall on the median, we're only talking about medians, the Grayson County gained approximately 25K in terms of equity growth or price growth across the market. It's very unusual. I only have seen one or two other counties, and none of them were big central counties where that happened. And that just tells you that the location, the strategic location of Grayson County, being along that 75 corridor going to Oklahoma, is really, I think, playing a big important role in the development of big centers such as Denison, Sherman, and etc. So price-wise, we had a little bit of uneven performance through the year, but nevertheless, it was mostly an upward swing all the way until August/September, after which we saw a significant, a dramatic drop, slight recovery during December, and then drop again. So as you can see, for the most of the year, we actually had, despite some ups and downs, they always exist. No county ever goes very smoothly completely up. Nevertheless, it was mostly an upward performance, which means that if you're planning to invest in Grayson County, whether you're doing flips or if you're a homeowner who's thinking to sell, for this county, you can count on a fairly solid performance in pricing. So your ARV, your after repair value, or your home price calculations should be holding up for longer than usual. We've seen most counties have their peak performance in approximately May or June, and then they have a sharp fall off in pricing. The fact that Grayson County continued the upward trajectory on pricing through the summer and even if in the beginning of fall is actually a very good indicator for that county. Days on market. How many days does it take on average to sell a house in Grayson County? We can see that the year started with a fairly low, well, actually not so low. This was the drop in May. Okay, so we can see that on average, we started with 44 days on market at the beginning of the year. We dropped all the way to 15, only 2 weeks on the market in May. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is 2023. Okay, we started with 50 days on the market in 47 days in the market in January. Then we had the lowest number of days in the market being 30. So it takes a little bit to sell these homes. Then we see again the increase in September, and then we're flying into the stratosphere with 2 months on the market in January, on average in January of 2025. So overall, you're looking at, if you're in that county, you're looking for anywhere between 1 and 2 months off on the market just to get under contract. Not a very good indicator, but it is what it is. Months of supply. Months of supply also could be called the backlog of unsold homes. The interesting part about months of supply here is that we see, even though the months of supply is gradually increasing, the increases are not as drastic as I see them in other counties. They're kind of pretty smooth. And it's almost like a continuation of the same line with very few dips in it. Now, what we do see though, is that it is a negative trend. The trend is toward the increase of the backlog of unsold homes. We're not seeing strong decreases yet. Now, this decrease doesn't really matter because people in November and December tend to pull their homes off market so they can celebrate their holidays in peace. But those people who didn't sell in 2024 and who pulled their properties off market, they're planning to come back and relist again in 2025, I guarantee you. So overall, it's a negative trajectory toward a ever increasing backlog, but it is not as drastic as some other counties. Let's see what our reports. So with 6.1 months in the market, months of inventory unsold, we're beating the worst performance of July of 2019 by 2 months of unsold homes. As you can see, we're definitely, as far as backlog of unsold homes, this is the worst performance by far in 10 years. Homes for sale. So whenever you have a market, you have a demand and a supply side. So if we look at the supply side, it looks very much like the months of inventory or the backlog. We can see approximately the same trajectory, almost no change. This is the number of homes that are coming up on the market. Let's look at the demand side real quick. On the demand side, we see that compared to the end or the middle of the end of 2022, we are 1/3 fewer buyers. The demand is smaller than, let's just say, in 2022. Well, we know that, that 2022 was a golden year. But what's interesting is that demand is actually stronger, it looks like, in 2024, or was stronger in 2024 than it was in 2022 or 2023, my bad. That tells me that these 2 years were very similar from a standpoint of both demand and pricing. So as you can see, pricing was pretty similar for the last 2 years, and demand was pretty similar for the last 2 years. The peak of demand in 2024 was in July. It was the highest number of home buyers shopping and the same homes sold, 146 homes sold in 1 month, and then dropped to the low of in November to 84 homes sold in 1 month. So as you can see, it was pretty steady drop. It was not like a cliff drop. It was a pretty steady and gradual drop, but a drop nevertheless, just like we see every year with people going to, during summer, we see peaks of sales and then we slowly decline. I joke that real estate is a little bit like ice cream. People tend to buy more during summer than they buy during older months. And then last but not least, shows per listing. As you can see, compared to, let's just say, 2022, when we had 10 people on average coming to see the house when it was being listed, in 2024, we had on average 2.83 people. So 1/3 of the typical force shown by the buyers. So 1/3 of the buyers that we had in 2022 are still shopping, or 1/3 of the total number of shoppers that we expected to see in 2022 is what we're now expecting to see in 2024, which means that even though the supply is fairly high, the number of people continues to drop, creating this lopsided relationship between bulging supply and deflated and deflating demand. So that's all I can say about the performance of the Grayson County home market for this year. Before we go, I always look at 10-year performance, so we can take a look at the 10-year performance and price. But yeah, if you have any questions about performance in any county, any zip code, any city, with similar graphs to be demonstrated for the area that you're interested in, just let me know. Also, this was for resale. We can look at new construction if we wanted to. We could look at townhomes, condos, and farm and range performance, so you could see a better picture of the home market as a whole. But for right now, we're just going to stick with resale. And if you have any questions, let me know. My name is Elena Garrett, and I'm a realtor with in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. I'm with Keller Williams Central 75, and I do these videos every month. So Stay tuned if you want to see how our market develops in 2025. Stay tuned, so subscribe to this channel, because then you're going to see next time when I upload all of these beautiful videos with home market performance, you will be the first one to know. Thank you so much, guys. Stay warm. It's very cold out there today, for 17 degrees, very crisp for the Dallas area, and I'll see you guys on the next video.